It is clear that infighting is far from being over in Zanu-PF. We get to see this through the surrogates of the two leaders of the warring factions of Zanu-PF. Guess what? Temba Mliswa has lashed out at the Women's League as well as also the Youth League, suggesting that they are not as loyal as former Secretary for Youth League, that is Kutsai Chipanga. Temba Mliswa went at length at how Kutsai Chipanga used to lash out at retired General Chiwenga in defense Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the then leader of Zanu-PF, are going to an extent of actually suggesting that this is a clear indication of loyalty on the part of Kutsai Chipanga, something that is not existing at the moment for Emerson Mnangagwa. And this may be going straight to Tino Machakairi. Temba Mliswa, of course, without mentioning his name, that is the main target of him. Greetings and welcome this lovely morning to your lovely channel, the Tonipani Global News. The voice is coming slowly but sure. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we film live, you become the very first one to watch. So, in simple terms, when you read what Temba Mliswa is now synonymous with, which is supples, articles, and a lot of people have said they doubt he's the one writing them. He is actually blaming the current youth league as well as women's league for supporting Chiwenga and pretending to be supporting Emerson Mnangagwa during daylight. I'll be reading the script that he has written on his X account to demonstrate what he said. He says Chipanga's loyalty and how it is an indictment against opportunists. That's the heading of Temba Mliswa. At the height of internal squabbles in 2017, the Zanu-PF Youth League Secretary Kutsai Chipanga came out against then Army Commander Constantino Chiwenga. Chipanga said, as the youth of the party, they would not allow the army to choose the country's leaders. We will not fold our hands to allow a creature of the Constitution to subvert the very Constitution which establishes it. The statement and boldness behind exemplified the kind of support any leader require when they are in office. Chipanga indeed accepted the literal withering of his political career as he stood with President Mugabe. But he later apologized and seemingly recanted his earlier statement, speaks of a practical survival tactic. Otherwise, his earlier actions carried more weight and meaning. Indeed, Chipanga exhibited a type of loyalty which in the current political environment is missing among many who appear and act ready to jump to the safest side. So he has actually supported what I have always said, that a lot of people in Zanu-PF, they appear during the day to be on the side of Emerson Mnangagwa, cautiously doing so because they know that his tenure is almost coming to an end, and they are preparing to be accepted in the next administration of Zanu-PF. It goes on to say, it's a general dearth of principled politicians and a surfeit of timid individuals and opportunists. So acute is the absence of principles that my defense of President Mnangagwa cannot be understood in its simplicity and purity. Instead, people have to contrive stories that I have been paid. One doesn't have to be paid to support a duly elected leader, but one indeed needs to be or incentivized to advance an agenda that prematurely promotes a support. How? Yo. How can supporting a legitimately elected president become an almost criminal choice for which one is dragged around? During his time, Chiwenga did what was required of him in his position, and that was to stand with his leader of the day. He could have been sly and become an opportunist, but he refused that and adhered to the call of his position. In that move, he showed that he is a leader with a spine and ethical, unlike many who thrive on cheating and lying to save their skills while selling out. In comparison, today's youth league and women's league are hollow and ceremonial. That's where my point is. Lacking the gravitas to flex their support for the incumbent. It's not clear whether it's fear or pure strategy to be docile as means of maintaining good relations with both sides, the present and the possible future. As opportunists overly thinking of surviving another day instead of fulfilling their current objectives, they have become flaccid, painfully lacking penetration as the party vanguard. They are indeed a queer vanguard, lacking everything that should define them, and brimming aplenty with the deft criminality of sellout. Such is their bluntness that the sharp support for President Mnangagwa expressed by those outside or inside makes for an unwelcome intrusion, which they would rather shut down than embrace. That's why you find someone like Minister Daniel Gawe being attacked for advancing and supporting a formal party position. For those outside, one is oft to be met with questions whether they have joined Zanu-PF in their express support for President Mnangagwa. However, once elected, the president ceases to be the leader of one party. Neither do we accept treasonous elements to subvert him just because we are not in the party. It is that loyalty that decrees that we vehemently oppose any overture structures to derail the mandate of one already elected. Once a leader is chosen and elected, we shall offer the same amount of support and loyalty, each in its own time. However, the opportunist and unprincipled have no such codes or ethics. Instead, the same way they behave with one leader, massaging one speaker with lies and misguided advice, they will do the same with the new leader. The reason Chiwenga's return into Zanu-PF opposition was simply an admission of fear that there is a man who will be loyal and true to his cause. I faced the same recently with the alleged leak of a telephone conversation with Bopela. To me, it's not a leak because all I say in that it isn't new, and I can repeat anyway. But I was clearly a compromised person, sent on a mission to fish an attack on it from myself, while strengthening his agenda to appear in Chiwenga's corner. However, I clearly told him that if he is the current president, and I will never go against him. Everything I say in that audio is an iota of much more which I have expressed here and everywhere else. Whoever else I will support, I told him I will do so only after the incumbent. Whosoever else I oppose in support of the incumbent is nothing personal. That's loyalty. To me, this also, apart from Temba Mliswa lashing out at the women's league for their lack of decisive support towards Emerson Mnangagwa. In my view, it gives, especially if you read at the end, saying there is nothing personal at the moment about supporting Nangako because he is in charge, saying he will support the next leader if he becomes in charge, and saying others who are actually not supporting Nangagwa to the extent we expect them to support are opportunists, and shielding himself from being an opportunist after writing this essay. To me, it's someone who is very, very confused. Someone says, let me just read a few comments. Someone says, stop at legitimately elected. Someone says, when you know you have screwed up and you are just trying to explain it away, that popular recording is where you shot yourself in the foot. Let us sit back and enjoy the popcorn. I don't see how it has been attacked as you allude. He will serve his 2 terms and go. A new Zanu leader will be elected. You talk as if someone is planning to remove it from office right now. Someone says loyalty should not be to individuals but to institutions. So that's how people have responded to Temba Mliswa. I think this writing on the wall by Temba Mliswa clearly also shows that leadership of Women's League as well as leadership of Youth League is suspected by the patron of Emerson Mnangagwa of not fully supporting him. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we film live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button